What is the biggest red flag you've had in a relationship that you ignored and really shouldn't have? We agreed on literally everything. It was uncanny. Never argued, much less fought. I thought I had found my soulmate. He was just mirroring me for years and was incredibly conflicted, avoidant to the point that he'd agree with anyone or anything, so no one would be upset with him. Then years later he hates me because I never gave him a choice and made all the decisions. The constant need to vent and find the bad in people and situations that ultimately boils down to insecurity. It's fine for the most part when you're both alone, but anytime they go to work, anytime you hang with friends, anytime you visit their family, you don't hear the end of the negativity that went down. Life is never happy for them, and you can either be their punching bag for the sake of not wanting them to be alone, or you can take a hold of your life and find happiness again outside of that relationship dynamic. The refusal to keep secrets. I told my wife how private I was when we were dating, and she promised to not tell people what I liked sexually. A week later, she told her first person. We fought about it. She promised to never do it again. Over the next decade, she told another 10 people. We had a blow-up fight. She promised to never do it again. Then she told another 10 people. Now we're getting divorced. It turns out she never kept a single secret or promise. I should have listened the first time she told me that she was trustworthy. I was dating a girl for about 6 months. Very early on she would talk about how hot this girl was, or how hot that girl is. Shouldn't have been surprised when she came out. She showed up to where I was hiking in full face of makeup, no signs of sweat, and said she was running, and it was a coincidence that we ran into each other. My first girlfriend was always in a fight with her friends, her mom, her dad, another one of her friends, me, her mom again, her stepdad. Eventually there was only person involved in all of those. He said he wasn't ready for a committed relationship and would probably end up cheating because of it. I thought that us being so very in love would change that. It didn't. Lack of reciprocity effort in the early stages. I made excuses for it, and ultimately my gut instinct that it was a red flag was right. She let my cousin raw dog her in the ass in public behind a building while I was in the hotel room with a cut foot. She was the product of her mother cheating on her father and always went to her mother for relationship advice. So clit, but being the victim. Always. I trust people until I see why I shouldn't. I assume everyone is honest. So when bad things happen to people I try to help, to save, to fix. Silly me. If there's a ton of complaints without being solution-based, or everyone is horrible to your poor partner, there's usually a reason. Accountability is huge. Yes, we have shit days, we meet arseholes, things go wrong. But the woe is me crap usually means they don't want to fix anything, they just want a babysitter. She didn't exhibit good financial practices. Turns out she was still a child, and I'm basically teaching her to be an adult and responsible. She's doing much better than a year ago, thank God. Lied and tried to make me feel guilty for questioning their lie. He couldn't be happy for other people's success when he didn't feel confident in his own abilities and accomplishments. And that was a lot. People who tell you they have a serious problem, take them at their word. That time I looked in her purse for some tissues and found a weird little glass pipe thingy and didn't know what it was. Turned out to be a meth pipe. Boy, that was a fun 3 weeks. Not looking closer at the rest of the family and thinking she'd be different. Super secretive with their cell phone. I always had my phone out or let him use it. He always had his phone on silent, and I wasn't allowed to touch it even just to move it out of the way. It was always off limits, and if he suspected I even moved his phone he would scream at me. So big red flag. They're like, okay, must be hiding something in there. I should have left the first time I noticed that strange behavior. Your mom wants to live with us? Yeah, that's cool. It was not cool. When they had track record a mile long of negative relationships, family, platonic, romantic, that were always everyone else's fault.